topic for tonight is going to be a gift guide. With the holiday season coming up, and oh my goodness, so many people everywhere who require so many things, we thought we would do everybody the assistance of helping everyone get on an even footing with all of the things that are available for all of the things that we sell here at Tower of Games and whatever else you may find at a local game store near you.
Tower.
Next one is Tabletop War Games. Give me a minute to crack my back. Because we're going to start this crazy train.
This is going to be a lot of things you get to see here.
Yes, it is, because I have a lot of things on the shelf. So for Tabletop War Games, oh wait, a word you might enjoy is verisimilitude. I said that right.
Verisimilitude.
Yeah, elements of realism.
I'm going to look up how to pronounce that.
Fair enough.
Not right now.
But to describe for Tabletop War Games, you are taking armies and you are fielding them on the table as a commander, as a general, or whatever else it may be, depending on which actual era you're running for your narrative. But for what we're going to start out with, we're going to start out with Warhammer as our neat little transition. So, woohoo! Warhammer, as produced by Games Workshop, will have two different eras. They're going to have Age of Sigmar, which is their fantasy universe, and 40k, which is their sci-fi universe. With the release of Warhammer Plus, you're going to see a lot more Warhammer stuff in primary media. You're going to see a lot more shows, animations, and whatnot coming from Games Workshop directly. And all of it is exactly surrounding these characters that you are going to see on screen. And yes, Mr. Nixie, we will be getting to your game here soon, because it is on the list. I had to make sure I didn't forget. So, for Warhammer 40k, which is Warhammer 40,000, or Warhammer, but 40,000 years in the future. There are going to be about 4 different places you can start. There are going to be the regular starter boxes that are going to be for 2 players. They're going to be the combat patrols, which are an army starter, the starter magazines, and the lore or storybooks. Which massive box do I grab first?
All of them.
All right.
Well, you could, you know.
One for you.
Ooh. I get the Elite Edition.
One for me. And you can get the tiny one.
Aww. It's like me.
Jeez. Okay. So as far as what we have here before us, we're going to have 2 of the 3 editions that are released for starting out, and we also have the Combat Patrol. For the Recruit, Elite, and Command Edition, those are 2-player starters. They will also require building supplies. So you'll require hobby tools, you'll need some clippers, some plastic glue, and whatever else that you will have decently within range to be able to build the miniatures, because they come in what is called a sprue, and then you have to clip them off the sprue and assemble them. But, what's up?
Oh, nothing.
Okay. The Recruit Edition is the smallest of the 3. It is going to be, I think, $50. You'll get some Necrons, which are these robot doodads over here, and you'll get some Space Marines. They each have very different ways of playing, and so you'll be able to get both factions inside your starter box and be able to experiment with them and see which format suits you better. And so that's what these are going to be. As far as the Command Edition is the biggest of the 3 boyos, because you will get the core rulebook, you will get the main end-all, be-all book for how to play Warhammer 40,000, excluding FAQs. But that's what's going to be in here, a command manual, and you will also get a full field of terrain. Because with war games, the idea is that you are recreating an active or a hot battlefield. And so the terrain is what's going to help you take your battlefield to a 3rd dimension, as you have guys up on ladders, up on platforms, up in buildings, etc. And you will also have all of the units in the box to make your plan a little bit more flexible. So that's what's going to be inside the Command Edition. The Elite Edition is the step above Recruit, but below Command. So it's going to have some paper terrain in there, along with the Space Marines and Necrons inside the box. Will also require building supplies. I'm going to be saying that a lot tonight. I have to lay these flat because I have an entire army of stuff over here.
I will say, for clarification, sprues, for those of you who don't know, basically it's the mini comes in parts, and it's all laid out on one sheet so that it's safer for transport. Yeah. When you've got some of those miniatures in a very flimsy plastic case, if it were to get crushed, your miniature just might straight up break. That's not a problem with this.
Yep, sprues are wonderful! And then for the combat patrols, if you have been following Warhammer for a while, or if you've been following Games Workshop, there are these singular boxes that is only comprised of units of the faction of your choice. And so for this one, we have the Adeptus Mechanicus. I'm not going to go into the lore, because I ain't got that kind of time. But for the combat patrol, if you get this box, the rules will not be included for the game. That being said, there is a free PDF of the core rules for Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar on the website for Games Workshop. And so while it's not going to be the full expansive rules, it is enough to make sure that you know what you're doing. Alright, that's those. Starter magazines, there are starter magazines as well. I don't have the ones for 40k. This is the one for Age of Sigmar. So when I do get to Age of Sigmar here immediately next, I'll come back to this. And for the lore, I normally recommend for people who are a little bit iffy on the game, they heard that it's expensive and they don't really want to delve into it, I always tell people start with the narrative first. Because when you start with the narrative, you're going to have the inclination of what army you would prefer to play based off of how they behave in the lore. If you want to make sure that you have all tools ready at your disposal at the full might of the Imperium, play Space Marines. If you would like to summon demons and prefer to make sure the Imperium burns, play the Chaos Marines. If you want to play undead zombie robots, play Necrons. And then you will have the full range of everything else. It'll also tell you who Nurgle is. But yeah, that's for the lore for 40k. For Age of Sigmar is going to be a effectively identical range, so there's really not much difference. However, it is going to take different names and is going to have different characters involved because it's a completely different setting. As far as the 4 places, I think I have all of them. I do. You get this one.
Ooh.
You get those. You get Skella Boys. How's that working out for you?
It's working.
All right. So those are those. I'm going to have to do these in pieces because they're all a little bit too big. There is going to be the 4 places to start for Age of Sigmar, and the only reason there's 4 instead of 3 is because one release didn't do as hot as 40k, but that means that this rare box is still in distribution, which is very rare to see. From starting, the Warrior Box. The Warrior Box is what's going to be over here. It is the $50? Yeah, $50. It is the $50 starter set for Age of Sigmar. It will provide you with some Oryx and some Stormcast, and you'll be able to actually experiment with the rules and try out the forces before you actually go home and take home the big box. Going on to the bigger boxes, the next size up from Warrior is Harbinger. Harbinger will have a little bit more and that papercraft terrain, same as the Elite Edition for 40k. And it will have some boys that will require assembly, of course, so sprue cutters, files, glue, etc. And you'll be able to get all that running. The next step up from Harbinger is Extremis. Ouch.
That seems extreme.
No. But Extremis is the largest of the boxes that are going to be in continued production for the time being. It, like the Command Edition, will have a full range of terrain, and it is fantasy terrain if you would prefer to use it for D&D as well, because D&D is not picky. Neither is Pathfinder, but point being.
I'm picky, though.
That is unfortunate. You will have a full range of Auric and Stormcast models at your command so that you'd be able to either fight for the sake of the God King or burn it down. Like so.
I didn't give you permission to quit.
I burned it down. And it will also have the core rulebook for actually playing the game and finding out how everything in Age of Sigmar works. And I forgot to mention this for 40k. For both of the core rulebooks, the entire front half is all lore surrounding the entire universe. So you'll be brought very much up to date. I am going to be very much boxed in. I hate myself. Now, the rare box that is not going to be in production forever, the only reason it is in distribution is because it did not sell as well when it first released, is the Dominion Box. The Dominion Box was the launch, the announcement, the main event that said that Age of Sigmar 3rd E is coming. And this was it. So this is the only time that you will have the ability to, in one box, get a full army of Stormcast Eternals with pretty much the entire range of new releases when it came out.
And a really cool angel.
And a really cool angel who is rude in melee combat. And you also have an entire army of Oryx that is the announcement of the new models as it released on the day it was dropped. So, big box! If you have someone who is really, really looking to get into Age of Sigmar, my personal recommendation is the Dominion Box, only because it will give them a larger force to fight with, and it will give them more tools and more avenues to actually stand a chance against more experienced players.
That being said, if budgeting is an issue, that's why the other products are a thing.
Absolutely. Oh, God.
Alright.
I'm not getting out of this cubby hole.
It's a mood.
And then, as far as the other side, we are also going to start collecting boxes for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Now, this is my faction right here, the Soulblight Gravelords. And if you do not have the core rulebook on hand at home, there's also a free PDF on the Warhammer webpage for Age of Sigmar. Only thing is, it is going to look a little bit different when you go to the Warhammer webpage because the PDF that is currently on it for the United States is out of date. It is the 2nd edition rules PDF, but the rules are very similar between 2nd and 30, except for a few discrepancies. But if you learn how to play 2nd edition Age of Sigmar, you will be accurately guided on how to play in 30.
Woo! Woohoo!
You're really just like, dude, you go. You go.
I know nothing about this, but everything that he's saying sounds very convicting and, I'm trying to think of the right word for this.
Convicted?
No, like, do it. Go get it.
Yeah, you spend that money. Jeez.
He's really good at that. It's really frustrating.
It is. But yeah, as far as the magazine that we have up here, the magazine is the $15 starter place for any of the Warhammer games that are within the main one. So Age of Sigmar, 40K, if they ever make a 3rd game, which I doubt, but we'll see. The magazine is going to be $25, for 2 miniatures. On the bottom, you'll get 1 Auric and 1 Stormcast that are on sprue, so you'll actually get a little snippet right there of what a sprue looks like outside of the box. And you will get it and the magazine in the back. The magazine is going to show you everything that Warhammer has to offer. That will include the models, that'll include the factions, that'll include the player base, that'll include events that go on near you, that'll include what hobbying could look like. It will show you everything that is going to be in the world of Age of Sigmar or 40K for you to take home and delve deeper into at your own speed.
Yeah!
You're like a delayed soundboard, Jesus.
I mean, if that's my purpose here, then that's my purpose here.
That is unfortunate. Alright. Moving on. I'll get there eventually.
One day.
Warcry. Oh, God. Alright.
I put some of the heavy boxes on my side.
It's fine. I put the stuff you would know about. There was a whole set design before this, and I was by myself, but that's fine. For Warcry. Warcry is going to be the facing off of Champions of Chaos against one another. And so Warcry is the main collective of it is Chaos, but there are also the other main factions that you will see in Age of Sigmar available to play in Warcry. So if you're running demons, you can play them. If you're running skeletons, like I do, you can play them. If you're running Stormcast, you can play them. And all of those rules do exist. But this is the newest release that Warcry has, and it is called Red Harvest. It is called Red Harvest because you have people looking to collect blood and people looking to collect offerings for the Spider God, which is just chaos. But that's okay. It's all chaos anyways. So for the full Warcry box, it will have the units and unit cards in there. It'll have the tokens, the dice, and a full range of miniatures and terrain. So the terrain is what's going to give this box its main price point because it is a full mine. Like you are in a full fleshed out mine setup, and you get to take your warriors of either the Tarantulas Brood or the Darko Savagers into this mine and see who can end up on top. As another note, the Warcry boxes are also able to be played in main Age of Sigmar. Woo!
Woohoo!
Woo! I'm out of breath and I didn't get a water.
Wait, I'm sorry, I need to delay it more. Woohoo!
That is unfortunate.
I'm delayed soundboard. You called it, sir.
I am performing
You're
my
stuck
duty.
with it now.
Now that's unfortunate.
Yeah, honestly. Sounds like your problem.
And then for the other side of the Warhammer games is also going to be Kill Team. Kill Team is going to be effectively Black Ops set in the 41st millennium. Welcome to Chalnath. This is going to be the start collecting box for Kill Team for the newest edition of 40K, because it has that new logo, but it's also going to be the new edition of Kill Team. Since the release of Kill Team Octarius, the rules for Kill Team have completely changed from how they were previously, only in presentation. And so as far as the new system that you can see for measurements, they do all have translations for how to measure in inches, because we use tape measures in Wargames. Wow!
Wow!
Wow! But this will have all the tools necessary to start playing Kill Team, and it will also have 2 full Kill Teams for the Tau and the Adeptus Sororitas, or Sisters of Battle. So if you want to play Nuns with Guns, there you go. If you want to play the Gundam Masters of the 40K universe, there you go. But yeah, that is going to be Kill Team. And I think that's all for 40K stuff.
All right.
You enjoy Battletech. Actually, no, Battletech's on my side.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Give me a minute.
It's somewhere down there.
Actually, I don't know if it's on this side. Check,
All right, well,
check by your feet.
It's not by my feet. Well, Well, you know, while he's looking for that, I'll move on to Lord of the Rings.
There you go.
Oh, well, there's Battletech.
Aha!
This is next.
Yeah, you go ahead and do Lord of the Rings.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not a huge wargamer, so I'm gonna do my best here. Lord of the Rings, there have been several things that I've seen set out for different wars in there. So I have seen. Wasn't there some Helm's Deep stuff?
Yep, there was Helm's Deep. There's the Hobbit, the Witch King of Angmar just got released. If you are a fan of the films for Lord of the Rings and for the Hobbit as well, you will see that the new terrain kit that came out for the Witch King of Angmar is Dol Guldur. Like, it is literally, yeah, it is the literal terrain kit for Dol Guldur.
Now, this particular kit is the Battle of Pelennor Fields.
From which movie?
I don't remember.
Okay.
This is the movie I watched today.
You've lost your right for Lord of the Rings.
No, that's the third movie. That's Return of the King. Right?
You lost your right. Yes, you are correct, but you had to think about it. You do not deny.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry that I'm not a walking encyclopedia.
You do not deny Theoden, King of Rohan.
I did not deny, I delayed.
But no, for this kit specifically, Games Workshop is also the crew. You're so mad. It's also
Listen, there's like 3 things I can actually talk about here, and you took away one of them, so.
But no, for the Lord of the Rings game, it is also made by Games Workshop, so you're going to have that same reliable access to miniatures as it is still in production. And it's going to be a full game, ready to play right out the box for Pelennor Fields. You will have the Rohirrim, you'll have the Army of the Undead, and you will have the orcs of Mordor all meeting on the field of battle. And so this box is the start collecting box for the Lord of the Rings game. So you're not going to find ones for individual factions like you do for Warhammer 40k or just Sigmar. It is mainly just this box, along with whatever units you manage to accumulate. So something that I always like to tell people is that if you are looking to get into the Lord of the Rings game, start on the hobby side of it first, because that is where a lot of players for these war games get defeated, is that they start the hobbying side, they're like, I don't have this kind of time. I don't have time to clip things off of sprues, build it, prime it, paint it to how I'm satisfied with it, and then get it moving. Bless you.
Thank you.
So if you are looking to get into the Lord of the Rings hobby, my base place to start is, say, find a miniature or find your favorite character from Lord of the Rings films. I will note that the characters inside this game are modeled after the actors of the films.
Yeah.
So Aragorn looks like the actor of Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Say his name. He deserves respect.
Gimli looks like Gimli. Legolas looks like Legolas.
I'm gonna fight you.
And so on and so forth. So start there, and if you do enjoy the hobbying side, then look into expand your collection from there. And there are also the characters from the Hobbit films as well available for purchase, building, and painting.
Yeah, because they have the Hobbit ones.
Yep.
Who'd have thunk it?
And I've also learned that apparently there's a war game recently where there's halflings with Labrador cavalry.
Oh, I don't like war games, but I might have to get another one now.
I'm very good at making money get spent.
Well, you know, I said maybe.
Maybe.
All right, talk about Battletech.
Do your job.
Yeah.
All right. Battletech. Nixie, where you at, homie?
He's right there. He's been excited.
I know he's been excited, but he hasn't commented again. So I'm just waiting on him. Because I'm probably going to get a dissertation in like 5 minutes of everything that I did not talk about.
I don't think it's even like gone through the stream yet.
That's fair. But no, as far as what Battletech goes, Battletech is going to be probably the most affordable war game that I have in store that is able to get launched directly into from a singular product. And so to describe Battletech, it is not a alternate future per se, but it is a take on the future of warfare as human nations and alien nations get their hands on the technology to make mechanized warriors that are tons. Like Tonnes. Tons. And so, woohoo. Lunch is coming back. That's fine. What?
Don't know. Keep going.
It's just gas. It's fine. But
That's not what it sounds like when you say lunch is coming back.
Wow.
Sounds like you're gonna vomit.
No.
You're the one who said it.
I'm too fat. It doesn't happen.
That's super not how that works.
Biology facts. No. Before Battletech, each of the mechs in here is going to be its own unit, is going to be its own classification of unit, because it's just humans. Okay, so Battletech is just humans, apparently.
Gosh, Wyatt.
I'm sorry. My knowledge only goes so far when I have a whole
I
sword
knew
power.
it was just humans. I was like 90% sure.
You are very welcoming. You are very welcoming some hands right now. But no. For Battletech, it is going. This box that I have in front of me is going to be the Game of Armored Combat. This is going to be the expanded version of the Start Collecting box. The regular Start Collecting box is $20.
That's super affordable.
Yeah, like the beginner box for Battletech is $19.99 MSRP, 2 mechs, beginner rules, and a setup to start playing that day if you have somebody else who got one.
That comes with 2 mechs?
The beginner box comes with 2 mechs.
Oh, yeah,
this is the expansion.
You've got to consider $20 for 2 miniatures as well as all of the supplies. That's a really good deal.
Yeah, that's Battletech. And then for this game of Armored Combat, this is the expansion of the base rule set. And so it is going to have even more stuff. It is going to have 8 miniatures, 56-page rulebook, 16-page record sheet booklet, 16-page universe primer, 24-page fiction note. Oh, cool. It has a fiction
It's got a lot of stuff.
Yes. It has a lot of things in here. And this is going to be probably the better spot if you are willing to be a little bit more spendy, I guess. For start collecting boxes, this would be the one that I would go with. It's also what I have the most of in store. So this is something where if you did come to store like tomorrow and want to pick up Battletech for the holidays, this is what I would have on hand for you.
Most definitely.
Hey man, that's my phrasing.
It's... What?
That's my phrasing.
Alright.
Oh, and apparently that box is able to be done for 2 players. Neat.
Ooh.
Ooh. Lord of the Rings we already covered. Warlord games.
So many.
Yeah, I think we've already been on for an hour. Yeah, we've already been on for an hour.
Well, then get to it, buddy.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. But yeah, for Warlord Games, Warlord Games is a company that does historical war games. So you're going to have the Napoleonic era. You're going to have wars at sea during those, like, Age of Colonialization?
Don't look at me for confirmation.
Age of Empire. That's what I think it was called. Where, like, you have all the people going across the 7 seas. You have all the red coats going in lines and muskets and stuff. You have all that. And then you also have World War II, which is going to be bolt action, which is their most popular game that I've seen so far. And then they also have Konflikt 47, which is World War II if it continued. And so for bolt action, each of the major players of the historical conflict of World War II is going to have its own starter box. So right here, I have the United States Marines. There's a separate box for the United States Army. I have a separate box for the Germans, Japanese, German Grenadiers, etc. It just keeps rolling. And I've also got another player here who champions the French viciously.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
I have a player who is a huge fan of the French, champions them every game. But yeah, that's going to be bolt action. It does require building supplies, and you will need the core rulebook in addition. This starter box is just going to be the miniatures, but usually once you get the full box of miniatures, it's usually intended you're going to start playing at some point. So the rulebook won't be too much of an issue, and I don't think they rotate editions very often, so it'll be good for a while. Yeah, that's going to be bolt action. Konflikt 47, World War II, if it continued, or the big old sticker that says starter set. Oh, they actually put that on at the factory. Neat. But yeah, it is a whole starter set. The one I have right now is for the British, but each of the armies for Konflikt is going to take the same historical advantages or interests of the World War II faction and is going to take them a step farther. So say if you were playing as the Americans, you have a lot more heavy industry available at your command.
Okay.
Yeah. And if you would like to learn how to play Konflikt 47, that video is on our YouTube channel.
Go look at our YouTube.
Alright, so that's Konflikt. Black Powder, I don't have anything for, because the one starter set that we did have for it was the big old battle box, and that was for the Civil War era. And so for Black Powder is going to be a large range of different time periods that you are going to be using the same types of strategies, and so it kind of gets revolved in the same game. For the last army box that we had, which was the Civil War starter box, I think it was $200 and some change, but I think it had like 500 plus miniatures in it. I think it might be more.
Was not expecting that number.
Yeah, that's because they're all like this big.
I'm gonna use them in something.
Yeah, they're all that big. It's your army of little halflings with poker sticks.
Yeah!
Yeah, poker sticks. But yeah, that's going to be Black Powder. And so battle boxes exist to pit full 2 armies against each other. And if you would like to see another one of those Civil War boxes in store, feel free to let us know, and I'll see what I get one in for you. And then Black Seas. Where'd he go? Black Seas is the historical game of naval combat in the Age of Sail. And so the Navy Fleet boxes and rulebook is what you will need to get started, because the rulebook does not come inside the box. You will need the rulebook separately, and these will require assembly as well. Alright. Okay, what's next?
Infinity!
I think you got that, did it? No,
nope.
Did you get that, or do I have that?
Yeah.
I got it. I'm gonna need a water after this. Alright, so I do not know much about the actual narrative for Infinity, but as far as what it is, think of XCOM on the tabletop. You're going to have different squads, different units, and different collections of miniatures that are all going to have their own particular job on the battlefield. And so for the kits that I have in front of us, I'm going to have an action pack, which is right there, and I'm going to have an operations box, which is right here. For the action pack is an army in a box optimal for a singular player looking to get started or expand an already existing collection. Because even if you're already been playing for a while, these action packs, still have miniatures that are available to use inside an army that already exists.
You can also get individuals as well.
Yep, you can get individuals, and you can get individual units. So, like, if there's a collection, like 4 or 5 of them, there are actual unit boxes that you can get as well. And for the operation boxes, this is going to have a 2-player introductory battle pack. It'll feature a full set of playable models, rules, and a learn how to play guide, and it will also come with terrain inside the box. Woo. However, like most war games, these will also require assembly, but because these are made of a different material, they are not plastic, you will require some different stuff to get them up and moving. But that being said, we are on to Song of Ice and Fire.
I'm doing this one.
Yeah.
You can't take it from me.
Have it.
Give your voice a break. This is a Song of Ice and Fire. This is the one war game I have been convinced to play and really like. So, while we're on the topic of games that require miniature assembly, this one does not. Mm-hmm. When you get a Song of Ice and Fire box, all of the miniatures are fully assembled. I can't say for sure on things like War Mammoths, but the boxes come bigger, so I'm going to assume they come assembled, honestly. So each of these comes with, you'll usually find army starter boxes, and then you'll find individual units as well. So you can change your army. It's a point-based system, so you have X amount of points in your army to build. This particular box here is the Stark versus Lannister set. If you have somebody that you are interested in trying the game out with, this is the perfect box to get it. First of all, both of these armies start on pretty equal footing as far as abilities, scores, points. So you've got a good amount of customizability because you can choose who your commander is. So you can take different approaches to the same army, which is really nice. Yep. And it gives you the stuff for that. Or you can try the entire other army, but they are made to be equally matched, which I really like. I really enjoyed. I personally played the Lannisters on this one, and my husband played the Starks. It was a really cool way to learn the game. The miniatures are absolutely gorgeous. Some of them are kind of incredible, and I am really not big on miniature painting because I don't have the attention span for it. But I really want to do it since he sent me some pictures of some of the giants that I have.
Yeah.
So this is a really good way to get started. It is a little on the pricier side. It's $150, but it's nowhere near as pricey as, say, like Warhammer. That being said, it comes with 2 full armies. It comes with a set of pop-out terrain, so you've got, it's not 3D, unfortunately, but you can put a tree on the battlefield that gives you a bonus to your morality, or your morale checks, not morality checks. That's up to you entirely.
Yes, the weirwood trees, they've done their work.
Yeah. You can put up walls where some people straight up can't go through it until you destroy it. You can put other walls where you can go through it, but it's going to give you a disadvantage. You have things on the battlefield that you have to figure out how to maneuver around to give you the best advantage. It's a lot of fun.
Yep.
I really like it.
And the entire rulebook is a pamphlet.
It is so easy to read. It is ridiculous. I read it in like 15 minutes. It's super easy. So that's the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. And if you have someone looking to get plugged into a group, any army box is also able to be played outside of it with a rulebook. So even if you have a group that's already playing, you're looking for an army to start, Baratheons, Greyjoys, Night's Watch, Free Folk, any of the other ones that do exist, ready to be played right out the box.
Yeah.
So. Alrighty. Am I back on now?
What is it next?
Star Wars Legion.
Yep.
Unfortunate. Alrighty.
Hey, you gotta go for your good buddy next to you.
That is fair.
It's okay. I'm tackling the next one, so.
Hey,
next 2, actually.
Cool beans. Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go. Star Wars. This is Star Wars Legion. This is the game by Fantasy Flight that is also going to be encompassing the Clone Wars all the way to the era of the First Order. I'm noticing a trend here. But for the point being, for Star Wars Legion, there are going to be 2 starter boxes that do exist. There's going to be one for the Galactic Civil War, which is what I have here, for the Empire versus the Rebellion, and I'm going to have a second starter box, which is going to be the Clone Wars between General Grievous and I believe Obi-Wan Kenobi for the Clone Wars. And so these do require building supplies, so if you do want someone who wants to hobby around or is just a huge fan of Star Wars in general, and they would like something to put on display, this box will come with Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader along with a full range of miniatures for both sides. And it is able to be played directly out of the box with some preparation.
I was gonna say, the miniatures do require assembly on that one.
I missed one. Ouch. Ouchies. Come here. Got it. Okay, what's next? Oh, cool. Armada. Armada is going to be Star Wars, but this is on the largest scale for Star Wars. It's not going to be boots on the ground. It's not going to be dogfighting. It is going to be full battle cruisers. You got the Malevolence in Armada. You've got the Super Star Destroyers in Armada. You got Star Destroyers in Armada, and you also get to pilot the little ship squadrons as well. This is what you are going to play for your large, massive space battles. And so for the kits that come out, each fleet that is in the game will have a starter box with the materials needed to run the ships in the game. So it's going to come with all the measurement tools, the dice, the trays, all the information you'll need. And these are also no build required. So they're already pre-painted, pre-assembled, ready to go right out. All you got to do is pop them on the base and read the rulebook. That is all you're going to have to do for Armada. Also just wonderful display pieces in general.
They've got some really neat ships.
Yeah.
You can see.
And then there's also Star Wars X-Wing. Star Wars X-Wing is going to be your dogfighting. We're going to take ship-to-ship combat, and you are going to hope that one of you guys is the better pilot, and you're going to test that out on the tabletop. And so for the two starter boxes, I have the core box right here, and there are also squadron packs for a specific team that you want to run in X-Wing. This core box is going to be made for 2 players, and so this is going to be what you're going to get if you have 2 people that you want to start playing. And the squadron pack is if you already have a community nearby at your local LGS and you want to get plugged in that day with a squad of your choice.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. All right. Got some momentum moving.
Woohoo! All right. So for our next item, I'm going to very briefly, the most briefest of briefs, talk about Marvel Crisis Protocol. Because I, unfortunately, have no personal experience in this game. But everybody knows Marvel. You literally get to be Marvel heroes. And I don't know if you're duking it out against each other or if it's an objective.
You're duking it out against each other. So you're going to have the heroes and the villains facing off.
That sounds really cool, actually.
Yep.
Because I want to see the heroes lose every once in a while, and this makes that possible.
I would like a balanced storyline.
Yes! So you get to take on the role of different Marvel heroes and villains. You get cards that tell you what each of them will do. You get some bases. This one in particular comes with a Daily Bugle stand, which I think is kind of funny.
And Spider-Man's in there too.
Yes, you get a Spider-Man. So you get a good variety of things, heroes to play, etc. This one will require some building supplies as well. But yeah, so we have the core set to where you can get basically everything that you need to start playing. And then we have individual packs. We have 1 billion of them of different characters. It'll usually be 1 hero and 1 villain.
Hulk, She-Hulk is out, Star-Lord is out, Rocket Raccoon is out, Gamora is out.
Didn't the Doctor Strange one just come out?
Doctor Strange is out, Dormammu as a villain is out, you have Taskmaster is out, Ghost Rider is out, you have a lot of packs.
So if you have a particular hero that you've always wanted a chance to play, Marvel Crisis Protocol is where it's at.
Yep, and then there's also Monster Apocalypse, or otherwise known as Monpoc.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
All right,
Buggies.
So this one, it's literally giant monsters, and what you get to do is you get to play either a protector or
a destroyer.
So you guys get to battle over a city to decide its fate. Each group, the protectors and the destroyers, have their own starter box, which is what we have in our hands now. You can get that for $49.99. And then they also have individual monsters that you can come in and see if we have on the shelf, because I know that we've had a few of them. And so you can find some individual stuff to kind of customize your site a little more.
Yep.
This one will also require building supplies.
Yes, it will.